Most people are familiar with the Yamaha EAD system now. That's what I've got here on the kit. The sensor on the bass drum, the module over to the left. The microphones inside the sensor pick up the sound of the whole kit, and you can use the EAD for recording, for making videos. You can use it for miking your kit live. It really depends on what you need it for. And you can either record onto a USB drive, you can just connect it to a PA system or a computer or anything like that to record directly into it. Very easy. But like lots of people, when I saw the EVANS DB1 system, I thought, that's going to work really well with the EAD. So I thought I would give it a go. Now, when we use the EAD, we normally have it with Mylar heads, normal drum heads, and it mics the whole kit up in the normal way. Or you can have mesh heads and triggers, so you can trigger sounds from the module. But now we have this EVANS DB1. And what DB1 are low volume mesh heads and cymbals. You can buy them separately, you can buy them as a pack, it depends on what you need. Now, low volume mesh heads, surely all mesh heads are low volume. Well, these are, but they're actually designed to make a little bit of sound as well, a little bit of tone. So they have patches on the heads, which can be removed to lower the volume, or put on to raise the volume, and underneath the head they have foam in strategic places to give that little bit of tone to the head, and they work surprisingly well. When I first saw them, I was a little bit skeptical, which is why I had to get a pack, but they are really, yeah, they do exactly what they say on the tin. They work really, really well. Now the toms has the patch, 4 pieces of foam underneath the head in a circle. The bass drum has a much larger patch and it has a much larger ring of foam, and that sounds and feels fantastic. And then we have the snare drum, which is a 2-ply head, which has mesh on top and Mylar underneath, normal drum head material, but it's got lots of strips cut out of it. So it actually resonates against the mesh head like snare wires. So as you can see, I've actually taken the bottom head and the snare wires off this aluminium snare, and I'm just using the DB1 head. So everything you are hearing is coming through the EAD system. There is not a snare wire in sight or a bottom head on the snare drum. But you definitely do need bottom heads on the toms and the bass drum. These won't really work on concert toms. The reason being is that both heads work together. You get the impact from the mesh head, but you get the tone from the bottom head, the resonant head. So you need both to work together. Now at the moment, the DB1 head on my 12-inch tom is too slack. It's not in tune with the bottom head. So I'm going to take this up 1/4 turn at a time, and you'll see what happens when I get to the right area. So it's something a little bit different. It's really, really cool. I don't know who came up with this, but whoever it is, genius, absolute genius. So we've got a snare drum, which doesn't need any snare wires or bottom head. We've got toms and bass drum, which need bottom heads to give the tone. And we've got some low volume cymbals. I guess they're made of steel. They feel like they're made of steel, but they're very low profile. So they're quiet, feel great to play, sound fine, sound like low volume cymbals. So yeah, the whole system works really, really well. Everything you're going to hear is through the EAD, and I'll just play it completely flat to start with, no effects, no nothing. Then I'll add some reverb, some compression. You can see what happens. So are Evans DB1 a third option with the EAD? Absolutely, totally, 100%. Can you use them with triggers? Yes, absolutely. I've tried that, no problem at all. Do they feel good? Surprisingly, yes. They feel more solid than a normal mesh head. I don't know what it is. There's definitely something more to it, especially the snare, because it's got the mylar underneath. You can actually lay into it more, and you can still hear all those little ghost notes, which is wonderful. Really, really good. Do I think Evans DB1 and Yamaha EAD 10 work together? Absolutely, 100%.